June 1918, a shell exploded in faraway Varennes in the Somme region of Picardy, France, and the repercussions, if not the sound, were felt in Sandbach. 29-year-old Private Edwin Firth, service number 766890 of the London Regiment, known as the Artists' Rifles, was killed instantly. That would have been a tragedy in any household, but when the victim was the finest cornet player in the country, and 5 weeks earlier his wife had given birth to an only son, no words could properly describe the heartache that caused. Edwin Firth had been principal cornet of the Foden's band for 9 years and set a playing standard that no one could emulate. He was the finest player of his day, and some would say any day. Edwin was born in Earby, a small town in the Lancashire borough of Pendle. It is easy to say he was born into a brass banding family, as his grandfather, Greenwood Firth, played trombone for 30 years for Black Dyke, and his father played for and conducted the Skipton Band. His brother, Kerris, was named after Kerris Jackson, the great principal cornet of the Black Dyke Band. Edwin was a child prodigy, and when brothers Billy and Edwin Richard Foden were charged in 1908 by their father to recruit the finest players in the land, it was inevitable that they should choose Edwin to lead the band. He was only 19 years old at the time of drawing up the contract with Foden's. It was additionally signed by his father. The new Foden's band, built by founder Edwin Foden and his 2 sons, was an instant success, so much so that, led by Edwin, they won the British Open and were runners-up in the National Championships for 1909 and won both in 1910. In 1912, twice they played for King and Queen at Crewe Hall, where the host was Lord Crewe. That same year they won the Diamond Jubilee British Open, when members of the band were awarded a medal which featured a genuine diamond. Contest success, led by Edwin Firth, continued year on year until in 1917 Edwin decided to enlist in the army and serve in the Great War. Early in 1918 his regiment was posted to Varennes in France, where he was tragically killed. Back home his wife Doris had, only 5 weeks earlier, given birth to a son, Edwin Twemlow Firth. Father and son were destined never to meet. With the centenary of Edwin's death approaching, Foden's band decided that such a significant event should not pass unnoticed, so 4 coincidental events were arranged in the area. On the 1st of June 2018, Foden's band held 2 commemorative concerts to celebrate Edwin's life. To coincide with the events in Sandbach, a delegation of brass band of the Armeens and members of the Association of House of Australians held a remembrance ceremony at Varennes to remember Edwin. At that event, a memory plaque and the Union Jack flag were laid in front of Edwin's grave. A prayer of remembrance and ode of remembrance were read, as well as a performance of The Last Post. Marjorie Newton of Sandbach Royal British Legion arranged services at Elworth and at Sandbach Cenotaphs, where a small group of players from Foden's played, as well as the current principal cornet, Mark Wilkinson, who performed The Last Post. More than that, the audience were able to hear 2 1914 recordings of Edwin's wonderful playing, crowned by Mark Wilkinson playing Goodbye, Edwin's final solo with Foden's band, on Edwin's own cornet of 1902. Amongst the audience were around 20 members of Edwin's extended family, many of whom had never met before. It concluded a memorable weekend. That was taken from an article by Alan Littlemore.